Okay, so I'm Sharon Miller. I'm the CEO of Extend Marketing Partners. We're located in Covington, Kentucky. And originally we serviced about a 5-state area for Google. Now we do pretty much anything nationwide. So, but my main thing I love to do is train people about Google. So in 2016, I became a Google expert. I've only continued to grow and master that. There are about 15 companies out there that do worldwide about what we do. So we love Google. We embrace it. Our main thing that we do for people is help you build out your knowledge panel. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to go ahead. The best way for me to do that is to screen share and just kind of show you guys what that looks like, what that means to you, and how to maneuver a few things around on it. And then at the very end, we'll talk about our big classes that we do that will blow your mind in respects of your knowledge of Google. So I just want to kind of start out by explaining, if you don't have a Google business page, what they look like. So I'm going to show you on my desktop right now. I'm going to use Two Danes Furniture. They're a client of ours. They've been with us now for about 3.5 years. And show you what it looks like when you get into it. So this is somebody who has a product page built out, which we did for them. So that's what you're going to push and primarily see. And we are going to talk about products a little bit today, but this is what their page looks like. So you'll see a bunch of stuff over here for them that we do on their marketing pieces. But for the most part, this is what we're looking at, this page. It's called a knowledge panel because what it does is it actually gives them knowledge of your business, what it is all about. In 2016, Google left you start gaining knowledge and access to the page and doing a few things. But in 2018, Google said, we are really going to make this that true website looking landing page. So this actually will draw people 4 times faster and more frequently than your website will on Google. And just so you guys are all in the knowledge of what's going on in the world of Google, in May of last year, Google stopped searching the World Wide Web for knowledge of your business. They said there's enough information out there that we allow you to put in this knowledge panel that we don't care what you do in LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. So if you don't put it on your website and your website does not search well, or you don't add it to this page, Google is no longer learning anything about what goes on in your business. So please keep that in mind. That's how powerful of a tool this is. So again, I mean, like you're talking a 95.8% of all searches done currently right now on a mobile phone are done in Google. So, you know, this is where they land in your maps. This is where they land in a Google search bar. So now we're going to talk about how do we build it out. If you don't have one, or if you do have one, it doesn't really matter. To start, you go into google.com/business. So this is where you're going to start to get into it, whether you're editing your page or whether you're starting one from scratch. The one thing I will say is if you do not have one, okay, don't know what that's all about. Okay. So it looks like this. It's got the guy with the guitar. It has looked the exact same way forever. This has been the landing page that they've had. So you're going to go in here. You're going to go into your top corner. Sorry, I gotta minimize my little bar here. And you're going to sign in. So I have about 5 different logins. So I'm going to pick one that's going to be easiest to maneuver and look like what you would see. Because if I go into my Extend one, you're going to see all kinds of really weird things because we're a platform organization for Google. So everything we do is by numbers and not names. So I'll go into a page that you guys can see normally. So for you guys, if you come into here and you don't have a page, it's going to give you the opportunity to type in your business name and start the process of claiming it. So I'll just show you what that looks like. It's going to look like this, and you're going to start typing in your business name, and it's going to walk you through the entire process. Currently, right now, Google is only doing postcard verifications. So no matter what, they're going to mail you a postcard. It is what it is. So, and they're being very strict about it as well. So, you know, if you're, the only way probably you're going to be lucky enough to get a phone verification is if your business has been around for 20, 30, 40 years. and Google knows enough about your business. So just know that you're probably going to get into a situation where you're going to have a postcard mailed. And right now they're running about 7 days to get to you. The postcards that come to our region of the country get mailed out of Chicago. So they pretty much have them out in 24 to 48 hours. And then when you get it, you have to put your number in. So we're just going to go in and talk about two main things. I want to talk first about posting in Google. And secondly, I'm going to talk about what it looks like on mobile and how to access the mobile app. And then the rest of it we'll talk about, if you take our class, and we'll talk about that at the very, very end. So I'm just going to pick a client. Let's see, we'll just go in Early Express or Erlanger Business Council, only because I manage their page, so I know it's got a lot of data on it. So the main thing to know is when you go into this page, it's giving you just a lot of data, like how you're being viewed, performed, if your searches are up or down. It's telling you basically like if you've had people who have added, what am I going to say, reviews out there and you have not replied to them. So, and then also this is where you see what your page looks like. So it says your business is on Google. It's going to look at your map views, your search views, and then this is your business profile. And what that is it's a short URL that Google will give you to access your page that you can actually share with other people. Like if somebody's going to drive to your location, you can copy this. Unfortunately, it's one of the features that's actually down right now. So Google has about 4 different features that are not currently running because of just the fact that number one, they're down about 30% on their customer service. And secondly, because of all the COVID-19 things, all the new businesses and stuff that are coming up, it's just been one of the glitches that they've hit, so they've had to take it down temporarily. It will come back up, and if you take our class or keep watching our post, you'll know when it comes back up, because out on our Facebook stuff, we will put out there when that is back up with instructions on how to access this and set it up properly. So that's how I'm going to go into the info section just real quickly and kind of just scan down a few little things. All your basic information, like if you don't have an address up here, it's going to say no location. If you don't build out your service areas, you are going to not search basically pretty much anywhere, because Google now has no idea where you actually want to show up. So that's probably one big thing, that if you do not have a physical location, you have to build your service areas out. So that's one of the biggest things I'll tell you. I always tell people that unless you only service a few small little areas, I would go ahead and build them out by county. The next thing I would tell you is keep an eye on your holidays. So your normal hours are above up here, but this little counter thing is where your holidays pop in, and Google pretty much wants you to put your holidays out there. If you start doing that, eventually they'll give you robocalls to verify your hours. We're going to come back later to talking a little bit about products and stuff like that. This is basically just a little bit of a about us statement. You absolutely want to fill this part in, because it's, again, the more information you give Google, the more they know about you. But the other really big thing on the info section you want to fill out is going to be your incorporation date, or the date you became a business, because Google gives you more authority the longer you've been in business. If you don't put that date out there, they have no idea how long you've been around. So if you want Google to look at you as somebody with authority, you need to fill that box in. So that's just a really quick highlight. We go into enormous detail in our training class. It's actually 2.5 hours long with a 30-minute Q&A afterwards. And every month you get an opportunity to hop on a refresher course. So that's that piece of it. The other piece I want to talk just really quickly about before I get into posting is your insights. This is really important to keep an idea of, let me go into a different client here so you can actually see good insights. We'll go into the hospital. So when you get into insights, the reason they're so important to keep a look out here is this first section of your insights tells you the keywords people are using to get to you. It's important to understand how they're searching and finding you, because that tells you what Google knows about your business. I don't know how many of you guys know 777 computers, but when we started having them as a client, they got a pizza place next to them. Their number 3 search word was pizza. They even had reviews on their Google page for the pizza parlor that sat next to them. So you got to keep an eye on this, and they'll scroll back pages and pages and pages, but the top 30 are probably the most important. We tell people to copy these, just scan it through, just copy it like this, and paste it into an Excel document. Put the date at the top of it, and every month try about that same date to grab your top 30 keywords so you can keep an eye on the direction of where Google is running that process of your search terms. Because then you know how you have to post and if there are modifications that you need to make inside your page to have people understand what's going on with your actual business. It's the fastest way to get people for Google to give you knowledge of how people are actually finding you. So again, we do a lot of in-depth training. Each section, we go section by section when we do our 2.5 hour long class, and you also get a follow-along workbook emailed to you after the class is over to build your page out properly. But I want to talk about posts today, and the reason that I want to talk about posts is because this is the only way you can begin to really get your knowledge out there in an organic way. So when you put a post out there, whether it's building out a product that you're showing off and highlighting, or whether it's giving knowledge to the generalized public about your business or a special or an event you have, this is the one place that's going to allow it to pop into organic search and now be searchable through Alexa and Bing and Siri. If you are not posting out here on Google and you're only doing it on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram or wherever else, your Pinterest, wherever else you might be putting stuff, you've lost that organic searchability that Google, with Google's power that throws it out there. Number one, you've lost your opportunity to be seen as a post on Google as a whole. But number two, you've lost that ability to get it out there on the World Wide Web. So write this down. Your post graphics for Google are 720 by 540. So 720 by 540. If you create a GIF, it has to be under 15 seconds. And if it is a video, it has to be under 30. So those are the things that you can put out there. So you just go in here, you're going to click on post, and let's say you're going to do an update. So just to kind of talk a little bit about products or products that you build out. You also have a product tab down here. Don't build your products out through this product tab. You want to build your products out through posting. And the reason that you want to do that is because that is the only way you're throwing it out into organic search without buying product ads on Google. And who wants to spend money if you can get it done for free? So anyway, so you're going to just pick what you're going to do. And updates basically means it's like your blog. Events are an event, offer is an offer. So if you're going to go in and add an update, basically you're going to go out, you're going to find your graphic wherever you sat it, your video or your GIF, you're going to drop it in here and hit accept. And then you're going to write your post. Your post is up to 1,500 characters, but Google typically tells you to keep it somewhere in the neighborhood of about, I would say like 300 to 700 characters, and watch your character count. And I would give yourself maybe a leeway of about 10 characters because sometimes Google believes things are there that you're not seeing when you're typing it in Word and running it through Grammarly. So, and then add a button. So the two things I can tell you that you absolutely want to do on every post, and this is every post, Google ranks your business by backlinking. So on every post that you do, you want to end that post by taking a return and putting your URL out there. If the post directly is going to go to a certain URL, you can also add it here by, like book it, buy it, learn more, sign up, call now, whatever you want to do on your, here before you publish it. But you want to do that no matter where you're putting it, whether it's on, whether it's on Google, whether it's on Facebook or anything like that. You want to add your URL to the end of it because your URL does search in Google. And the more times it's tagged, shared, and dropped into documentation, the more authority Google gives you. So backlinking is huge. And the more authority you get by the higher that you rank it. So just, on that respect, just know that if it's, something that gets eventually grabbed by Forbes or gets out on, like Cincinnati, business publications, things like that, or it's something that Google's giving a higher authority to, it actually begins to give you a higher search authority. So when we do the class, we spend about 20 minutes just teaching you Google SEO. So just so you know that as well. So I'm going to go off of this screen and I'm going to go into another screen here real quick, and I'm just going to show you guys what the app looks like so that you can have an idea of how that looks and how that functions. So can you see my little thing that looks like a telephone now? So this is what the app looks like when you get on your phone. It's this little thing right here that says My Business and looks kind of like an overhang with a G on it. So I'm going to tap on it and open it up. So in this app, it is the only way that you can put an offer out there or a welcome email out there if somebody follows you on Google Maps. So if I go into Google Maps and I type in 2 Danes, and now it's found my location on Maps, I can actually follow them. I'm already following them because they're my client, but I can actually follow them. So with that said, the only way you can build that out is to build that out in the app. So it's Google My Business is going to be the app. It's available both on Apple and Android. You're going to drop it in here. You log in exactly like you log in your computer, same Gmail account that you use, and it's going to look like this. So now when you get up here, this is my ability right here in the middle to like set a post up. So if I want to set up a post, I'm just going to hit the plus sign down here. I can build a post out right in my phone. It's always going to show you your last couple photos that you took. So if you want to drop it in there, you know, maybe you took a photo of the outside of your business, you want to use that as your post graphic, it's going to give you that ability. You can just ignore it otherwise. You can share a review you had recently, but where it says you can see who's following you and just build the whole thing down. But if at the very bottom where it says customer profile and more, if you hit that more button, you can add users and you can go into settings, and here's where you want to turn on notifications. So I went into settings on the app, I turned in notifications, and I turned everything on. The reason this is really important is because people can message you through the, if you have the app, through your Google My Business page. So let's say somebody's near your business and they say, hey, are you open today? You know, it doesn't appear that you are, or they might say, hey, do you have this still available, or is this still on sale? They can message you and it's going to pop up on your phone under messages. So I can now add a welcome message, you know, to it that they're going to see. Mine, like for Extend, says, thank you for reaching out to us. We'll be back to you as quick as possible. You know, so if you have any specific questions, feel free to call us directly, and it has our telephone number. So you can make that however you want. And then the other thing then at that point too is you can check your reviews. You can apply right to your reviews. I'm under custom at the bottom. And then I can see any messages that we had. I can see who's following me. But here's where I can create that follow post right here in the middle where it says create a post. Now I can put a message out there for people when they decide to follow us. I can make an offer for them to say, hey, thanks for following us. If you come in the next 5 days, get $5 off an item, $25 or more. So just know there are a few little things that you can only do by getting the app on your phone and taking the time to look at it. So, anyway, so I don't want to take much more time up, so I think we'll open it up kind of for Q&A. Our next class actually is tomorrow. I have to apologize at the moment. I can't remember what time it is, but I'll pop up the graphic for it here in just a second. And so that you guys can have access to that and see but it's under Extend Marketing Partners on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Our website is extendmp.com. You can go under events there. We run one class that is strictly just for real estate agents. We are the only company in the world that teaches this class for Google. We actually went to them and asked them to allow us to design a class. I believe that one runs this Friday, but we're continuing to add more and more classes. So if you can't make tomorrow, come back and just keep an eye out for the other classes that we do run. If you are a business, the classes run $27. If you're a real estate agent, they run $19, and for nonprofits, they run $7. So the real estate class is 3.5 hours long, just so you know that, because it is very, very in-depth, because the way you build out a realty page is completely different than you would build out a business page. So